G'day folks, well I'm going to do a walkthrough solve of this crazy two-face Mars cube. Now before I get into it completely, I just want to say if there's a little bit more hiss than normal, well I've got a computer running in the background doing a bit of processing. It's raining here, it's windy here, I've got a heater going, so between all of that you'll be lucky if you can hear me at all, but excuse all that extra noise if there is any. Now with this puzzle, I've found this much harder than, well no, not much harder, I've found it harder than Crazy Two-Face Neptune. So obviously Jupiter is pretty easy. I haven't even done Uranus because that's not very much more difficult than Jupiter and it's the same kind of procedure. Then Neptune was a little bit of a step up. I know some people have said that Neptune and Mars are roughly the same. To me, they're not. I think Mars is harder. Mars just has a lot more little fiddly things in it, I think. So Crazy Two-Face Mars, the first thing, it's got a two-face on it, which is a normal Rubik's Cube face, and it's got three faces which are zero faces. So on this one, the white, the red and the orange, each of those faces has the center parts that don't turn, and then the other three faces, well one of them is a two-face, and then the green and the blue are one faces. So if you want to go and set one up and have a crack at it, that's what you need to do. If you want to know how to get this or where, there's links in the description about the Crazy Two-Face kit, how to make a bunch of puzzles for not a whole lot, and I encourage you to go look at that. So this is a challenging puzzle. The first part of it is scrambling the thing, and so I'm going to use the white face to scramble it, and as I do that, that's okay, but anytime I go and put a yellow two-face piece on that face, I can't turn it. That's one of the challenges with it. You can see that's a circle face, so I'm quite happy to turn that now, and I might as well do that while I've got the chance. That one as well, it's the same sort of thing. I might as well get something happening there, but it's put all these yellow pieces on this face, so I do try and use that same face all the time to scramble. Let's see, and this yellow piece is annoying me, and you kind of get pretty quickly back to the point, oh, I couldn't scramble that at all. And so that's what I've normally done, is just use that same face. I'm going to continue doing this. It's going to take a bit of time to do it properly because you want to turn that up and you can't because that's blocked, so let's just leave that there for the moment. And when it's properly scrambled, I'll come back in with a nicely scrambled puzzle. Well, it's a pretty good scramble, and don't be fooled by the fact that there's blues here because they are irrelevant at the moment. This is sort of a reduction method, maybe not quite really reduction because of the nature of the cube. And so what I'm going to be doing is placing all the circle edges first, then I'm going to place the outer edges, and then reduce the corners, and then solve the corners. And that may sound simple, and some of it is. Certainly the very last part, just the solving of the corners, it's very simple. But the most annoying and difficult part is at the start when you're trying to place the circle edges, and particularly probably the first, well not the first face, but the second and the third face. So what I'm going to do is place the circle edges on the orange face first, and for them, if I can, I'll just turn them in. So that can just go straight in. I've got a problem here because that orange edge is there. So what I'd like to do is turn that, in fact, yeah, I'd like to turn that off so I can get the orange edge somewhere else, but that yellow's in the way. I'd like to turn that off, but I can't because that's blocked. Let's try doing that. Now maybe I can turn that orange edge off, maybe around to there, that's better. That'll at least, in fact I'll turn it around to here, which will put it on that blue face, and I can turn it up. And this last one, because it's sitting on the blue face, that goes as well. So that's normally the easy part. Now I'm going to place the red ones opposite. And to do the red ones, I've got one in, which is good. I'm going to, firstly I can get this one in there just by turning it round twice, and that'll keep that orange one in there. Now it's these ones which are a bit more tricky. And I've got to be able to turn. I'm not able to do this on a white face. It's got to be done on a one face. So I'll have to do it around here on the green and the yellow over here. What I want to do is get a red piece either here or here, depending on which of these I'm putting it up into. So for now, what I'll do is The beauty of it is that I can rotate this orange face and not disturb the circle edges, but the problem of it is I've got these yellow pieces on the orange face there. So for now I'm going to just turn that around and get that red piece over to there, and you'll notice it hasn't disrupted any of these orange pieces. That's gone, but that's just because I turned that. When I put it back, it's fine. So now I'd really like to get, firstly, that's going to come down there, that's going to go up. Now what I can't do is just turn this, put the red on and turn it up, because what it does is takes the orange with it, so that's no good. What I need to do is firstly get that red piece over to that face. Let's put this orange back. Now let's see what's going to happen. I'm going to turn this down and I'm going to turn it across like that. So far so good. Then I'm going to turn the red onto there. Now that'd work if that yellow corner wasn't sitting there. So I've got to do something with that yellow corner. Maybe rotate it clockwise or get rid of it. So let's think about, it's going to be tricky just to get rid of it, although you never know. No, I can't just get rid of it because I'm going to have to turn that bottom face and that yellow corner's on there as well. So I'm going to rotate it clockwise, and this will be the first of about 1,000 of these little routines that I'm going to do with this puzzle. Rotating it clockwise, so one is going to go clockwise, one will go anti. I don't care about this corner at the moment, so let's use that one. And I basically want the right face being a one face or a two face, and the up face being a one face or a two face. That's all that matters. It would be nice if that one was as well, but it's not essential. So this one's going to rotate anti at the front, this one's going to rotate clock at the back. That's the whole point of what I'm doing this for. And I'm carrying out a sune, and then a sune mirror on the left. Now that's no good at the moment, so all I do is turn both bottom slices around and do my sune mirror. When I'm done, turn them back. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't affect anything on the lower two slices, so I can just do that. Let's see where on earth I got up to. Better put some oranges back. That looks better. Okay, now the red's there. I've rotated that piece around. So it used to be here and it came down onto there. So let's see what happens now. I'll push that down. Turn that on, and now you can see I can't turn that because of that piece. So it really needed to be rotated, well, there, I guess. This is all part and parcel of this thing. Drives me mad sometimes. Anyway, let's keep, that's going to be a problem as well. So let's rotate this one. Now if that's there, just let me think for a minute. That's going to go around, it'll be there, I'll turn it, it'll come back. That'll be okay. I think that one will be okay. This one just needs to go anti-clockwise, so I might just rotate that anti-clockwise initially. Let's do that. Okay, let's see how we're set up now. You remember this is all just to get a red piece in. Now that's still going to be a problem, isn't it? That's going to be fine, it's going to go to there. It's that one that's the issue. So this will have to be rotated anti as well. Welcome to my nightmare. If that's going to be anti, maybe that's clock. Let's get that one done. Put the oranges back and let's give it one more shot here. Hopefully now we're in a position for this to work. Turn that around, that piece down. Now put the red on, and you'll see as I do that it doesn't affect the pieces that are in there. Now turn that back, brings that orange back. Turn the red up, brings the orange up into position. So the oranges are still there, and I've managed to place that red one. I'm not surprised it's taking this time, it normally does. Now for this one, I need to have, I can't be turning that white face down. I can't bring this green piece down because, in fact I actually can, but the problem that I've found is that there's almost always a yellow piece on there, so I prefer not to. Although I'm just going to see at the moment whether it makes sense to do that. Yeah, I can't turn that at the moment. So no, so I'm going to have it so that the alright, let's just do that. I'm left with almost no other options, I think. So I'm going to get the red piece first of all down here, and to put it down there I need to be able to turn this orange face. That yellow corner is in the way, so I think I better rotate that, let me think, clockwise, which means something else has got to be anti, maybe that one. What have we got? Okay, that will work. Put them back. Okay, let's see if I can now turn that down, turn that and return it. Okay, all of that turn that stuff was just to get that red piece over here, not here. And in fact, I now wonder if I actually didn't need to do that at all. Let's just try that again. Just going to have a quick look at something. It may well be possible. In fact, it's totally possible. That's a much easier way because it happened to be sitting there and I happened to be able to turn that white face. The reason I didn't go for it initially is because I don't think I've ever encountered that before, where that white face is actually turnable. I'm going to take anything I can get here. So that red is done, the orange is done. The next face I'm going to do is the third of the zero faces, this white face. Now what I've got is, if I hold it like this, I've got these two faces here, and if I can get those yellow corners not on that face and that face, then these faces are turnable, and that's normally quite helpful. So first thing I'm going to do is rotate that one around to the blue face anti-clockwise. That one I'm going to rotate anti-clockwise onto the green face. So let's get them done first. That's one of them done. And the other one was that one. That was anti-clockwise that I wanted to do. Alright, let's see how we stand now. I've got a turnable red face, a turnable orange face, trying to place some of these whites into position. Well, the first thing that I can actually do is turn that straight up. And because of that, I can also turn that one. Now this is a walkthrough solve, which means I got really, really lucky there, and I'm definitely going to take it. Normally I'd probably have a few more hassles than that, and I'd probably have these pieces which weren't already in there. But as I say, it's a walkthrough, we get what we get. So that having been done, now I'm onto the yellow, blue and green. And I'm in two minds about this. I have sometimes placed all the yellow pieces first, but thinking it through, I think what I need to do is get at least these pieces correct before I place those yellow pieces, because otherwise once those yellow pieces are there, it becomes very, very difficult. So I'm first going to try and put a green one into that position. And to do that, I can turn this face no problem. And as long as nothing comes on this face here, I can still turn that. And as I turn it, that red stays exactly where it should be. The green comes down. Then I can return. And that's good. I've got green there, green there. That's looking really good. They're still turnable. I'm going to do the same thing here. You can see the problem that I'm going to have with that one, I think. Let's have a look. So I'd like to get a blue one into this position. There's a blue one sitting there. There's also one sitting there, but I'll just use this one for now. That didn't do anything. Why didn't that do anything? Because I turned it the wrong way. That's why. Now I've got the blue one there. Okay, so those two greens are done. That blue's done. I've got to get this blue sorted. And what I need to do is just to get this yellow off of that position. So I think what I'm going to do to enable that is try and do a 3 cycle of this to here, this to here, this to here. Let's see if that works. And it's not going to because of that corner, so I'm just going to turn that off initially and we'll see how we go. And the reason that didn't affect the reds is because they don't turn with the circle. Let's see where we are. Good. Got that blue one to do. Where's a blue one? There's one right here. So let's see if we can turn that around. Turn the blue on. Undo. Fantastic. Okay. Now that I've got them done, again I'm in two minds. I'm tempted to just get these other yellow ones done, and I think maybe I will. So to do that, I reckon I'm going to cycle that to there to there. I'm just going to try it. I'm just not sure if it's going to work. I'm not going to try it because I've got that blockage, because I need to turn that one off. Let's just turn that one off initially. Okay, I went the long way. I'll turn this one, so I've got to turn my left face back and I've got to turn that one there. I'm down 2. Let's try that, see what that does. I think it's good. Down 2 and my left, which should have been, that'll be there. That's okay, that's still good, that's still good, that's still good, all looks well. Right, so what I've achieved there is put a yellow piece that happens to be the yellow-green. That's not essential though, that's just accidental. But I've got these 2 greens still sitting here, I've got those 2 blues still sitting there. I'd now like to get a yellow outer edge piece to go here, in the same manner. And there is a yellow outer edge piece here, it's going to be a yellow-blue. I could use another one, I guess. I could use that yellow-red. In fact, what the heck, let's use a yellow-red if it's going to work. So I want to turn that around, place the yellow-red on it. Then turn it back. Now I've got a problem here, is that I can't complete that move because of that yellow corner, and I do need to complete the move in order to get the white back. So I'm going to rotate that corner. Let's see, I'll do it anti-clockwise. Maybe I'll do this one clockwise, so that's actually in good position. Can we turn that around? No, we can't. What I can do though is just turn that face like that. Okay, let's do that. I'll bring that back, return my left face, and that should mean oranges, reds, whites are still done. Those 2 blues are done, those 2 greens are done, those 2 yellows. Now it's just these pieces on the side. I'm in a really good position now, and that shouldn't be too long. So let's, first of all, let's see if we can get this yellow to go there, this yellow to go here, this blue to come down here. And in order to carry that out, just an edge piece series. That's worked nicely. No yellow pieces went on there, which was good. So that yellow face is done now with the edges. Now I've just got this blue and this green to cycle. Now the problem I've got is that there. So can I do it on the other face? I certainly can. Although, no I can't, because it's going to, shouldn't matter, just talking out loud here, and all I need to do is cycle the blue, in fact this blue to that green to that blue there, and as long as my yellow pieces are not in the way, it should be fine. I've cycled them, I had a setup, undo that setup. Oh, fantastic. Well, I'd have to say that is definitely the hardest part of this solve over, and I'm pretty glad about that. Alright, well the next thing that I do is to get all the yellow corners onto the bottom. In fact, do I bother doing that yet? No I don't, not quite. Thinking on my feet. The next thing I do is to place the correct yellow outer edges. So that yellow orange is already there, that yellow green is already there. Now I've got to do swapsies with these 2. Now if they're on the opposite sides, that's probably a bit easier. what I need to do is to have the red and the orange face clear in order to do this. In other words, no yellow pieces there. I have to rotate that one first. I've got to hold it like this because I want one on the left, one on the right. So first of all, let's rotate this one. And I might as well rotate that one clockwise while I'm at it. Okay, now those faces are clear. I've got to swap the blue and the red. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I need them opposite each other, I'm going to need to turn that red around to there. Now you can see that as soon as I do that, that corner is going to make it impossible to then turn the circle face, which I need to turn. So I'll rotate this one anti-clockwise. Might as well do this one clockwise if I can at the same time. Okay, alright, that's better. Now what I need to do in order to move this to here but keep that there is turn that down to the bottom, just store it down there, turn that one and then turn this back. And you can see now as I look at it, that one is going to be a problem. So let's just undo those things and keep an eye on the yellow, blue, orange corner, which needs to probably go, the yellow needs to go to the orange, so it needs to go anti-clockwise. Yellow, blue, orange, where was that? Needs to go anti-clockwise. I could probably turn that one clockwise if I can get the pieces sorted, or even that one would be easier. Yep, that's fine. Okay, let's give that another go. We've got... that one had to be stored. Now I can turn this around and bring that one back. And what you'll see that I've achieved is that the two that I need to swap are on opposite sides. Now I think we're good to go here now. And so once they're in that position, I'll just undo that setup at the end. I turn both of them to this front face, turn the front face 2 turns, return both of them and return the front face. What that's done is swap the 2 bits that I needed and keep all the other stuff where I wanted it. The only thing left to do is to undo those setups, and so you remember I had to turn that down there, then I turned that and then returned, and from that point all of those yellow edges are correctly placed. Now I can go and get all my yellow corners down there as well, and so to do this there's a couple of options I could do. Sometimes this is easy, sometimes not. In fact, this one's going to be beautiful. If I turn that like that, what I can do is swap those two, and these two will swap at the same time. And that's good, because I'd like that yellow corner to go down here onto the yellow face. So I'm going to do that. It's the easiest way to do it. It's just 3 edge piece series, or down, down, up, ups. And doing that returns all the edges. Undo that setup, and that's on there. That's on there. That can be twisted. What about this one? Well, this one, I can try the same thing, but what's going to happen is this yellow and that's going to swap as well. Having said that, I can get around that by turning that one down, and then the 2 non-circle or the non-yellow pieces will also swap. Might as well do that. Notice that I can only do this with these 2 faces being 1 centres, in other words a 1 face or a 2 face. Let's put those setups back. You'll see all the yellow corners are here, so now I can actually turn that one anti, that one clock. That's good. Okay, brilliant. Another little phase done. All of the yellow edges are correct and all of the yellow corners are down the bottom. That's important for the next thing that I'm going to do. And that next thing is going to be to place these 4 middle layer edges. Now if you've been following my videos, normally I'd place 3 of them, but for this puzzle I'm placing 4. Then I'm going to do the ones on top separately. Pretty heavy use of sune here because of the bandaging. So what I want to be able to do, let's find one, see if I can explain this. Yeah, so this, what I need to do is basically be turning this white face is a 0 face, so those inner bits don't turn. So is this orange face. So when I do my placement of these outer edges, I do not want to lose the circle edges that I've already done. And the only way I can accomplish that is to do the edge piece series on 2 0 faces. In other words, the white and the orange, or the white and the red. So I look at this and I think, well, if I was to do the white orange, so I'd turn that up to here and then turn that on, the orange piece would come to there and come down here. The orange would go to the blue face. That's no good. So that means I need to flip this orange piece. And to do a flip, all I'm going to do is a pretty well-known front, up, right, up prime, right prime, front prime. And that's kept the circle edges where they are because I did the front face as a one face. If I do the right face as a one face, it'll disturb those circle edges. And the edge that was here that needed to be flipped is now back there. Now you can see what's going to happen now is if I turn that up and turn it on, the blue is going to come down and match the edge. But you can also see I'm going to run into a problem with that yellow corner. So the only little setup I do before this, if I'm turning it around that way, I'm going to grab that corner, turn it down and put it underneath. And then when I do that, that yellow corner that used to be here is not there anymore. I can turn it on, undo the move, and then undo that setup. And what's happened is all those yellow corners are still there, and I've placed that. And if I just turn the circle edges back, you can see that all is well. Got to do that with the other ones. Let's have a look and see if the green-red is correct. I've got to turn that up, that around. The green's going to come down to the green. That is correct. So that just means I'll put that corner into its position, carry out the move, undo the setup, and that one's done. Got a blue-red over here. Got to turn the red face if I did that. Yep, that doesn't need flipping. So we'll put that little corner there. Okay, and should be one more. It's green-orange. Let's have a look. That also does not need flipping, which is great. The less I have to flip, the better. Undo those setups, and when I turn that top face back, you can see all the circle edges are still there, and more importantly, these 4 middle layer edges are now complete as well. Now at this point, I just look to see if there are any white edges that need flipping, and there are. There's these two. The ones that flip are in these two positions, so that's a one face, so I can carry out the same routine. And all the whites are facing the top now. It hasn't affected these ones here. Next I'm going to see if these are in a 3 cycle or a 4 cycle, these outer edges. So I note the red has to go there, the orange has to go there, the green has to go there, the blue has to go there. That is a 4 cycle. And in order to do a 4 cycle or a swap, which is essentially the same thing, there's 2 ways that I have tried to approach it. And one of them is just to do this and then resolve these edges. I found that very problematic, and I kind of have got to a point now where this is such a tedious cube that I'm just going to rely on a sequence which is pretty simple. And all I need to do is make sure that the one face this time is on the right, and this is what I'm going to carry out. It's going to swap this edge and this edge, and it's going to be up, right prime, up, right prime, up. And if you were watching closely, you would have noticed there was kind of an extra upturn in all of that. Everything else was an even number of turns. Now what it's done is it's swapped those two, so we're now not in a 4 cycle, we're in a 5 cycle, or a 3 cycle of some kind, which is what we want. It's also taken that corner and moved it to there. So the first port of call is just to get that corner back into this position, and probably what I'll do, I'll just see if I can easily do the same sort of thing I did before. It's going to be that. It's probably going to be a little bit annoying to think about, so I'm just going to use the corner piece series to get it over there. So I think that one has got to go there. So let's turn that up. That'll go there. That'll go there. I just need a non-yellow corner in that position. So before I do that, I might actually do that as a little setup. Put that there. That one's got to go to this position. So I'm just going to do this movement. I'll do 2 corner piece series. That's one of them. That's the second. That piece has now gone there. When I undo the setups, we'll see that it is actually there. It just needs to be rotated this time clockwise. So we'll just get that sorted. And there, the yellow pieces are all back. Alright, my camera battery is just about to run out, so I'll cut back in a minute. Actually, when I said my camera battery, I didn't mean that. I've got this setting where it only records half an hour of video, and then you have to kind of record it again. So here we are with the next half hour. So, having done that, we've got all the yellow pieces back there. Because I swapped the 2 edges, you'll notice that this one now needs to be redone. So I'll just do the same thing that I was doing before. I'll see, well, I've got to turn the red face. Is that going to work? If I turn that up there, the red is going to come down to the blue face. So that's no good. Need to do flip on perhaps those 2. Using the one face, let's do it on these 2. Here we go. Now I can grab that red blue, put it in its position. You'll notice the blue's on top now. And grab this corner, put it underneath. Undo setups, and that has been replaced. Let's put these ones back, and again see if any of the whites need to flip. They do, so we'll carry that out. Okay, all the white edges are there. Now this time what I'm going to notice is they're all going to be solved, or they're going to be 2 swaps, as in those 2 swap and those 2 swap, or they'll be a 3 cycle like this. So that green one is in place. I've got the blue to the red to the orange to the blue. So I need to carry out a sune, and when I do that, I'm just going to hold the 0 face on my left, not the 1 face. Okay, and what that's done, the sune mirror of course, is it's kept all the circle pieces where they should be. You'll notice it's placed all the circle edges, and that's looking a lot better. So that completely does all of the edges, and that's definitely the longest and hardest stage of the solve done. The next stage is to reduce my corners. Now this is quite tedious, I've found, and so I don't need to keep these yellow corners here now. I just don't want them on the white face. Probably the easiest way is going to be just to look at what we've got initially and say, well, what happens if I turn? So that white outer can turn around to that white circle corner and reduce that. There's an orange. Do I have an orange here? I do. Oh, this is going to be pretty good. So I've got the orange outer. I'd like to place it onto an orange inner. So I'm going to rotate that one anti-clockwise, and then when that does rotate, that'll be a white outer, which I'd like to rotate onto a white inner, or a red outer, which would then go in place there. In fact, I might do the red outer, because then I can do that one anti, that one clock. Let's see if that's set up well enough. It is, so away we go. As I said, using that move about 1,000 times, and hopefully now what we can see, where was I starting? In fact, that one, I think maybe I rotated it the wrong way or something. Let's have a look. That's going to go there. That's okay, that's okay. I think I'll rotate that one anti-clockwise now. So I don't know if I got muddled up then, probably did. That often happens doing a video. So that one I'll rotate anti, and I don't want to touch that one, so I'll rotate this one clockwise. And what I'm trying to do is set up this white face so that there's at least 3 pieces, such that when I turn it, they will reduce. And you can see 1, 2, 3. That's my goal. And having done that, I now need to rotate the pieces or take them out and put other pieces in there. It doesn't matter that these have moved around, because they'll all move back at the end. So now I'd look at it and say, well, I've got a white here. Can I get that to a white outer? I can. That one there. So I'll rotate that piece clockwise. That's going to give me a blue outer, which I want to put to a blue inner, so that needs to come anti. So there's my first 2 that I need to rotate. Let's see where we are. White to there, blue to there, red to... Now here, the red can't go there. I could rotate that, and it's just... What's it going to do? It's only going to give me 2 pieces that are done. So I'm tempted to replace this with something else. In fact, yeah, I'm going to replace it with this one, because that is going to be fantastic. That one there, if I can get that up to that position, the orange outer will go to the orange circle, and that red outer will go to that red circle. So I'll actually get 4 of them done, which is really what I want. So what I will do is, I can turn the blue face without it disturbing anything. I'm going to turn that and put that in position. Alright, that's done. I'm going to do my turn. There you can see all 4 of them done, and then I'm going to undo that turn. Alright. Now what's happened, and the reason I did that, if we can have a look, is I've got at least 1 corner now which is totally done, and I'm not that far away from having another couple. What I want to get done is 4 of these corners, because I can then store them down the bottom, put the other 4 corners up there and just play with them. So let's see what stage we're at. We've got an orange. I actually like to get rid of this one now because it's done. And you'll notice the yellows moved around. Well, that can just be turned back at any time. So I'm going to replace that yellow with what's one that really needs doing. Well, that's not too bad. I could probably put that up there and finish that one off with any luck. In fact, I think I will be able to, so let's do that. So I'm going to swap those 2 initially. Now if I swap those 2, that and that will swap, which is probably not a great idea. I wouldn't mind that swapping with that one. So I'll just turn that down as well. Do the swap. Undo those setup moves. Let's see what we've got now. Alright, so we want to turn that one clockwise. Would probably like to turn that one anti. That'll get the white over to there. So let's do that first. And as always, let's check where I am. That white is going to go around to there. Now then what I really want, I want that to retain or to go to a green if I can get it there. Now that green is in perfect position, so I'm going to put that up there just before I start. That will be a blue outer. Yeah, let's just do that. I might rotate that clockwise just to put something up there that's not yet done. And I'll rotate this one anti-clockwise. Okay. Now, that green I wanted to place onto that green. So here we go. Before the move, I'll put that up there, do the turn, and then undo those 3 turns, and that'll kind of keep all these middle edges and the lower edges where they should be. You can see that. Where are we at? On the bottom I got 1 done. I've got 2 done now, which is good. Let's see what's on the top. That blue can go to there, that white can go to there, that blue can go... Let's just almost do that for now. We'll rotate that one clockwise, we'll rotate this one anti. Now let's just see what would happen if I did this. I'm trying to finish pieces off. In fact, if I could get that to rotate onto a blue, that would actually finish that one off, and so I might turn that anti-clockwise as well. And I don't want to disturb the other white ones, that's why I'm holding this anti-clockwise, this clockwise. Okay, that's done and dusted. Alright, now when I turn that, it'll do that one, it'll do that one because that wasn't quite done, and it will do that one, which gets that as a 3rd corner, which is now completely done. So 1 down there, 2, that's a 3rd one. Let's replace it with something. So maybe we will replace with, I would say, given that there's an orange green there and a green orange, let's replace it with this one. So I want to swap those 2, and I might keep these 2 there, so I'll turn that down as well. Undo those setups. I can put that back if I want. So on the bottom now I've got 1, 2, 3 that are done. Just that 4th one which isn't yet done. What do we want to do? That blue can go to there. That red. Actually tempted to turn that clockwise, to turn that anti, and to turn that clock. Let's do that. That clockwise and that anti first of all. Let's see where we are now. So I can swap those 2, which will deal with that blue one. Now I've got orange green, I'd like to get green orange, so I'd like to turn that one clockwise. Maybe this one can be anti-clockwise, if that's going to work. And I need to, if I can turn that like that, that's perfect. Okay. Undo that little setup move. Where are we now? Okay, I've got 4 on the top. They're going to swap. Let's turn that around and see what happens. That piece has only 1 left to do. That piece has only 1 left to do. That's got them all done. That's only got 1 left to do. I'm in perfect position here because, oh, I've got 2 down here. Not quite perfect position. I want to swap these 2 now. So get that one down the bottom, this one up the top. And so I'll do the same thing, swap those 2, and let's keep these 2 up the top, bring that down as well. And you can see all the ones on the bottom now are completed. So it's just these ones on the top. I know that's good. This is my key one because it's got 2 parts that are not yet done. So what I'm going to do is rotate that, I think, anti-clockwise for now. Let's do that anti-clockwise, let's do that clockwise. You probably picked up most of the difficulty or the tediousness with this part is just thinking through what to rotate where. It's not actually doing the moves at all. So that I'm going to rotate to there. That's going to go, the red will be filled. Where's that orange going to go? To the blue. I'm going to rotate this one anti-clockwise, keep that one where it is, which means I want to rotate something down here clockwise. Okay, where are we? Yep, that's better. Now, the corner which had 2 to do, this one here, if I rotate that around, that's only got 1 to do, that's only got 1 to do, that's got 1 to do, that's got none, that's okay. Good, so I now want to work out what configuration to have these 4 corners in order to complete. So if I rotate that one, put it up there, the blue outer will go to the blue inner, the orange outer will go to the orange inner, and then I want a red outer to come to a red inner. And you can see if I rotate that up the top, that red outer will go to that red inner. Fantastic. So I've got to rotate this one anti and this one clock, and then I'm in business. Here was our setups. Oh, that's right. Just forgot to put that back. That was my problem. Okay, that's looking better. Let's do some rotating now. Now, what have I done? Have I got a wrong one here? No, I need to rotate that one anti by the look of it. Oh, I think I've rotated this accidentally. That's what's happened. That orange has got to turn to that one. I don't know why it's on the other side, but let's get it to where it needs to be. Or at least I could leave it there, swap those two, which will get that orange one done. The white will go to a red, and then I'll have the red-white to swap here. I'm just going to do that. Yep, I'm going to turn that anti and that clock to start with. I guess when I look back at the video, I'll work out what I did wrong. Probably just one little move, but I can't think of it now. Okay, so my plan is to swap. Let's see if this is going to work straight away. If I turn that, I get that one done. That's completely done, that's completely done. That one now and that one need to be done, and then I've reduced all of the corners. So there's a couple of things I could do. I could swap these, swap that one and that one, get them opposite. Alternatively, I could look at the edges and say, where have they got to go? The blue's got to go back that way. So why don't we try and turn the corners back around that way? And if I was to do that, that white comes back there. That red is going to need to go to a red corner. And that red is going to need to sit there so it goes onto that red circle corner. So that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. I just need to get another red corner into that position. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to just put it up with simple moves, do my turn, and then undo those simple moves. And what I'll see now, finally, is that I have indeed reduced all of those corners. And that's definitely the bulk of the solve over. And it leaves me only to place and orient the corners. And to do that, first of all, I'll be bringing corners from the white face up to the yellow face. I'm going to do the corner piece series just to place them on the yellow face. So I'll look first and say, well, that has got to be a white, red, blue corner, which is sitting over there. So if I bring that up, and I can turn the blue and the green faces, bring that up, I can do a corner piece series to move that into that position. I can undo those setups. That's there. What about this one? That's got to be a white, green, red, which is now here. So again, if I bring those two up, now I can do the opposite one. Those two are in. Now turn it around. What about these ones? That's in. This is just the white, blue, orange. So if I just turn that up like that, I can do that corner piece series. Good. Turn it down. All the white ones are placed, maybe oriented. Now I should just need maybe one corner piece series, maybe two, to get the yellows in place. And you can see the yellow, green, red's got to go there. The yellow, blue, red has got to go here. Yellow, orange, green. Let's just aim to place the yellow, green, red. Yep, doing that. Okay. That's in place. We've now got, if I turn it round, I've got that has got to go there, that's got to go there, that's got to go there. So in other words, piece movement like that, but I'd like a green face to be on the right. So now I can carry that out. Put it back and you can see all the corners are now in place. The very last thing is to orient, and I'm going to use exactly the same routine I've been using up to this point. So I'm just looking and saying that's got to go clockwise, that's got to go clockwise, that's got to go anti. So if I turn, for example, if I turn that up and that up, that's the anti one, that's the clock one. Just do an upturn and now they're in the correct position. Okay, when I undo that upturn, you can see that's all good, and so is that. They're done pretty simply. And we're used to doing that routine now. And all of these now, what have they got? 3 left, clock, clock, clock. All clockwise, so for now let's just turn that, do 2 of them. Undo that, that just leaves me the last 2 to do. That's a clock, that's an anti. So I've just got to think about how I get the anti one in there, and I think the easiest way is to turn that there first, turn the right face and turn the up face. So I'm just going to remember to turn the right face then the up face, carry out my routine. Undo those moves, and if I remember what they were, that was the up face and the right face. Now that again, what have I done? I've obviously put them in the wrong position. That needed to go clock. Alright, so I'll just do exactly the same thing again. I guess this is what happens when you're doing live video. And this time it should work. It does work. And that's all the corners done. And that's Crazy Two-Face Mars taken care of. Probably, if anything, the first part of the solve with the white, the orange and the red is probably slightly easier than I've sometimes got, but hey, it's a walkthrough. That's what you get. You also get me going, what the heck have I just done? Anyway, if you've watched all of this, really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.